Hey y'all, so I wanted to make a quick video in response to a little bit of the misinformation that was going around my personal Facebook page. And right now I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about being a witch, what is witchcraft, what is Wicca, and kind of myth busting a little bit of that. Because I just feel like it's 2019 and it's just like time to be done with all the ignorance, and even just like to gently educate those who just genuinely don't know. So I am a witch, I am Wiccan. I was actually ordained as a high priestess in 2014. I've been practicing witchcraft and I have been a practicing Wiccan for many years. Elementary school. I started being vocal about it in middle school. Those who know me know that I don't make a habit of hiding who I am. I try to live very authentically. And so, witchcraft. Witchcraft in itself isn't good or bad. Witchcraft is the practice of magic. Magic in itself is not good or bad. It all depends on who is using it, because magic is just the force of the universe. It's just the life force within you connecting to the force of the universe to make change in some way. And so it's really like dependent on the user, right? Witchcraft has no morality. Witchcraft is an act. That's like saying that brushing my teeth has morality. It's just an act. It's just making change. The morality behind it is like interpersonal to who you are, right? That's where Wicca comes in. Not every witch is Wiccan, and not every Wiccan is a witch. But a Wiccan can be a witch, and you can be a witch without being Wiccan. They're not mutually exclusive. So, Wicca is a religion. It is even recognized in the U.S. as a religion. It's been recognized since the 80s. I think 86 is whenever it was legally recognized. And it is an earth-based religion. We follow the cycles of the moon and sun as our holidays. We have one rule, one commandment, if you will. In it harm none, do what you will. Which means live however you want to. Live authentically. Live your best life. But try not to hurt anyone. Try not to hurt anything. We really, as a religion, try to make positive change. We recognize it as our responsibility to keep with nonviolence. We believe in karma. That's kind of like the law of the land. That's how you're gonna like be enforced for that in it harm none, do what you will. Most Wiccans believe in the threefold law, which means like whatever you put out there is what you're gonna get back times 3. I can go back and forth. Like, I used to hardcore believe in the threefold law, and now I think that I lean more towards just balance in the universe. But I definitely see the threefold law in play in my life. Like, I can see it happening before my eyes. And so, for me personally, it's a little back and forth. So, being Wiccan is a religion. We believe in non-harming. We believe in living your authentic life. And so we have no prejudice against LGBTQIA+. There is no racial prejudice. There is no prejudice against any kind of gender identity, against any kind of relationship dynamic. It's really just like, just live your best life and try not to hurt anybody. Karma will come for you. Observe the earth and be the earth's friends. And of course there are like guidelines, like the 8 principles of a witch, or, things like that, that kind of like help you personally structure yourself. And then there are different paths of being Wiccan, kind of equivocal to like different flavors of Christianity, right? Like being Baptist or Catholic or whatever, like there's different paths, there's different ways to do it. Wiccans usually, not always, but most of the time, they practice magic. So Wiccan, witch. And then I'd like to personally dispel this like ugliness towards witches in the media, because every single one of you knows one witch. You do. Half of the women on Instagram are witches now. And that's fine. Like, more power to everybody. I mean, girls who bullied me in middle school read tarot cards now whenever they bullied me about that. And yeah, it's a little like, you doing that now? But it's like, good for them. It's about growth. Anyway, most of you already know witches. Whether or not they're still in the broom closet because they're afraid of being judged, but all of the witches that I know are light workers. I'm a light worker. I was put on this earth. I know I was put on this earth to help heal it. I know that I was put on this earth to be a birth worker, and to be a yoga instructor. I know that's what I was meant to do. I'm meant to be a part of where the healing happens. And so anyone who knows me should just know that what I'm doing isn't evil. And if you know me and there's still like a margin for error in your brain to think like maybe what Sunshine's doing is evil, that's your intellectual disability. That's your willful ignorance. That's not my problem. And I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry that you're so close-minded. And I really hope that one day you will get to enjoy seeing the world around you with your eyes open instead of really closed, right? There's so much beauty in our differences as human beings. There's so much beauty in our differences as human beings, our differences in culture, our differences in our way of life. I mean, there's so much beauty in the difference between what we pick for dinner. And I mean, I'm vegan. I don't judge, Like, I'm always here if you need a vegan recipe. I'm always here to answer questions, and I share what I cook all the time. But there's just beauty in the way that we do things differently. And even for me, that's hard to understand sometimes, and it's hard to remember. But there is, and you're going to learn so much from it if you could just get out of your own brain and unlearn some of what you've been trained to believe is real. Unlearn your prejudice. And there's a difference. I'm not talking about people who are speaking out of just truly I don't know, There's a difference between asking questions and getting stupid with me. And I don't have room for people to be stupid with me. I dealt with that every day in middle school. Literally, girls during gym, before we were supposed to dress out, would sit on either side of my friends and I and just grill us. Question after question every day. And I don't know if they realized what they were doing was bullying, but I'll never forget it. And if you're watching this, you know who you are, and I still haven't forgotten. And I'm glad that you've grown, because I see that most of you have grown as human beings. And my religion makes me glad that you've grown. That religion, that same religion that you just shit all over me for, it makes me glad that you've grown as a person, and that you have learned to see the world with your eyes wide open. And for those of you who haven't, I encourage you to do so, because you really will learn so much, and you'll experience so much that you didn't think was possible. You'll have feelings that you've never felt before by just being receptive. Learn about something that you didn't know about, even a religion. There's always room to learn about other religions. If you have any questions, any genuine questions, like I said, there's a difference between getting stupid with me and asking me questions. I am all here for answering your questions, but don't blow up my Facebook wall. You need to message me privately, because I'm just not gonna lay my life out on the line. I also use voice message a lot because it's just easier, and I feel like I am able to be more authentic whenever I use the voice message as opposed to just typing out a message and sending it. Yeah, so just to kind of recap, being a witch, being Wiccan, they're not mutually exclusive. Witchcraft isn't inherently evil. Wicca is inherently good, if we're using simple terms. Wiccans believe in the law of karma, usually the threefold law, and we follow the cycles of the earth. We worship a god and a goddess deity. Most of us, worship that duality. When we die, we believe that you're reincarnated, is what most of us believe, just to cover the very basics. So if you have any questions, you can reach me here, or feel free to reach out to me on my personal Facebook if you have connected with me there.